Hello, and welcome back to Naturally Spiritual, where we correlate the spiritual with the natural. I'm Cheryl,
And I'm Sherry.
and we're here to encourage someone about that setback, that so called setback.
Right. Some people think setbacks are set up to just stop you or prevent you from getting what God has for you, but that's not always the
Right,
case.
right, right. So don't worry about it. Look, they say they call it a comeback, right?
Okay.
Because not everything that's deemed a setback is a setback.
Right.
You better look for that miracle.
Right. Or so as we like to say, those blessings
That
in
blessing in
disguise.
disguise,
Right.
right? Because
Mhm.
a lot of times that's what it is, right?
Exactly. And then you're looking like, whoa, what? Like, who would have ever thought that this would have come
Right.
from that?
Would
Look,
have come from
I
it.
never. I mean, when you're going through something, oftentimes it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes you just like not understanding,
Mm-hmm.
like Lord, I know I'm one of yours. Lord,
Right.
I know,
Right.
but what's happening right now?
And it's only natural that you
Mhm.
question.
Right, Lord, this can't be.
Right.
This isn't what I signed
Right.
up for. And
Mhm.
Lord,
I thought it was gonna be different. I
right.
thought it was gonna
I
be
just
different.
knew it was, Lord. And
Yes.
when I started walking this walk and I started talking this talk, I expected
Right.
for things to be different. Because a lot of times now, sister, people think because you are Christian,
Mm-hmm.
you are exempt
Right.
from anything
But
negative.
that's far from the truth.
Right,
Far
right,
from the
right.
truth.
Because take a look at it. Let's go all the way back here to Job, who they
Mhm.
say was a perfect man.
Right.
And look at all that happened to him.
Right.
So if Job, who was perfect,
Mm-hmm.
and that happened to, he lost his family, his
Mhm.
land, his businesses,
And the cows.
the cows, lost his riches, lost his health.
Yes.
If Job lost all of that,
Right.
and then let's go back to another perfect person that they said in the Bible. Noah
Okay.
was a perfect.
Yes.
And if this man, he was ridiculed because
Oh,
he
my.
was building this ship for
Look
a
at
whole
this big
120
dummy. It doesn't even rain around here.
What is rain? They say, they tell me what
Mhm.
rain is, but we don't know.
We don't know,
right?
right?
So
And in the natural, it's a lot of times if it doesn't make sense to us, we just think that it's odd that someone that it does make sense to, right? And so we just have to be careful when we're in the natural, when we're in self.
Right.
Let's be honest, when we're in self,
right.
we can't see past what we can't see
Exactly.
past, right?
Right. You can't, because I gave you two perfect people who are already blessed, but let's go to that ultimate perfect one.
Okay.
Jesus Christ Himself.
Okay.
Even who knew no sin.
Right.
Who could have at any moment, any time during His walk here on this earth said, "This is me. I'm not going through a single thing." But look what He went through, even on His way to the cross.
Okay.
He went through some things.
Yes, He did.
Right. Okay. So who, if those three went through, who are we?
Who are we?
Who
right?
are we?
Who
And
are
so
we?
when we looking at these things, and it's like this here is some crazy stuff going on. I'm just not. I'm not feeling it. I'm not getting it. But of course, I'm questioning it. But what do you do when there's a miracle in this disguise?
You have to look at it. And look, then you have to think spiritually minded,
Okay.
right? And you have to realize that it's not all bad, right? And you have to start relishing in what the word tells us. Because look at in Mark 6:49 and 50, right? But when they saw him walking upon the sea, they supposed it had been a spirit and cried out. So it's a bad thing. What in the world did I think? Did I just see that? They didn't understand it, right?
Okay.
For they all saw him and were troubled. But watch this, because here it is, because here what
turn this thing around.
Turn it around. For and immediately he talked with them and said unto them, be of good cheer. It is I. Be not afraid, right? So there they were in their turmoil, in that setback, like, oh my God, we're getting ready to sink, we're getting ready to die. And the Lord said, hold on. Look again. Don't be afraid. You be glad, because here I am. So even in the midst of your troubles, in the midst of your trials, look for him. Look, and be of good cheer, right? And then and he's comforting them and tell them, don't be afraid, be of good cheer, because it's me, right? So when you recognize that he's in everything, right?
Oh, sister, it just came to me. Back up. You said it is me.
It is me.
So we have to stop putting at what we deem bad,
Mhm.
negative, or
Mhm.
just wrong, saying, "Oh, this is the devil."
The devil.
Because
Look,
he just said, "It is me.
it is me.
It is me."
I.
Right.
Look.
So not everything bad is of the devil.
Okay.
So stop giving the devil credit when credit is not due to
Okay.
him. Okay.
All right.
Because some of these things
Mhm.
are of God.
Yeah, because he was in the midst of that,
He was
right?
in the midst.
Even when they were going through it,
Mhm.
and they were afraid. But he
Mhm.
said, "Be not afraid. Be of
not.
good cheer, because
Exactly.
it is I." So
Mhm.
he came. Look, he was there the
There.
whole
Oh,
time.
the
Let me
whole
rephrase
time
it.
he
He
was
was there
there.
the whole
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
But again, look,
Mhm.
here we go again, sis, because
Mhm.
I'm jumping on this. It's how they perceive it.
Exactly.
Right?
Say that.
It's
Wow.
how they perceive it. So a
Mhm.
lot of times it's how you perceive
Right,
things. Like
right.
you're going through
Mhm.
pity party,
Right.
right? Or you say, "Okay, Lord, here it is, but I trust you. Look,
Mhm.
Lord, I'm gonna rejoice
Rejoice
in
in
this,
this.
right?
Exactly.
Although I'm hurting, I'm going to rejoice in the
Mhm.
fact that I know that you have my back.
Right.
I'm going to rejoice in the fact that I know
Mhm.
you're here. I'm going to rejoice in the fact that you're here comforting me, right? So you just have to recognize him.
Recognize him.
Recognize him, right?
Mm-hmm. So it's not all bad. You
All
know,
right.
there is some miracles and some disguises.
Okay.
You know, some miracles disguised as
some
but
setbacks,
it's
right?
what you have to put your final sight
Okay.
on
All right.
him.
Yes.
You know, and walk in it,
Mhm.
relish in it. Okay, Lord,
Yep.
it wasn't all bad, and I thank you.
I thank you.
Okay, we
Mhm.
better end it there,
Okay,
right? Because
all right.
we talked about this thing in the natural and
Okay.
spiritual, and as we always say,
It's
it's
all
all
intertwined,
all right? Let's end it like we always do with our commercials. Go ahead and like us,
Share us.
you know, talk to us, leave us some comments.
Okay.
All right, and hit that subscribe button.
Thank you for those who have, whether you just subscribed or supported us, or if you got the book, if you subscribed and have the book, thank you so much. Thank you for those who haven't gotten the book, but you still think of us, because you look, your day is coming, right?
Okay.
All
right. And then we just gonna end it there and hope that you guys have an awfully blessed night.
Good night.
Good night.